How is it to go on out there, everybody? This is Speedboy14. I'm going to present you my top 10 hardest Mario levels. So if you guys can give me a favor and drop a like on this video, I'd really appreciate it big time. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to click that subscribe button and click on the bell right beside it to be notified every time my new videos come out. Exciting feature of the channel, you can request your favorite Mario game, or you can request your favorite Mario level in the comments below, since I'll be talking about the top 10 hardest Mario levels. This does not include DLC. This is only from the Mario games I've played, about the top 10 hardest Mario levels. Without further ado, let's go! Alright, so Super Mario Galaxy is not known for being the most difficult Mario game ever by any means. Since this game is definitely one of the easier Mario games out there. But some of the post-game stuff does fill up that department about the difficult stuff. Especially with this one purple coin mission right here, which is purple coins in the bone pen. Because the reason why I put it at number 10 on the list is because the reason it's number 10 and not as high as some of the others on the list is because there are consistent setups to beat this consistently. But the reason why it made it to the list is because you have 1 minute to collect at least 100 purple coins. And that can be a challenge. But if you have a consistent setup, this is not too bad with some practice. But speedrunning this mission is unbelievably difficult if you want to get like the world record times on speedrunning the mission. But the mission overall isn't really that difficult of a mission with some practice, if you know what you're doing. But one mess up and you have to start over because the timer keeps moving even after you collect 100 coins, and then you have to the timer will keep moving even if you collect 100 coins, and then after those 100 coins you have to make your way back to the star and get it before the time runs out. And if you mess up at it, you have to start over again, and there are no checkpoints. That's all I have to say about this level. Now we're going to move on. Alright, so New Super Mario Bros. U, once again, is not known for being the most difficult Mario game ever by any means. But Superstar Road fills up that department, especially with Superstar Road 8, Pendulum Castle. The reason why this level is number 9 on our list is because of the donut platforms. Excuse me, the donut platforms and the environment that you're in can make this level hectic. And the swinging spike pendulums. You have to really watch out for the pendulums. If you stand on the donut platforms for too long, they will fall down. Eventually they will recover back, but still. This is one of the most difficult sections. You have to run across here, run back, run across, run back. If you want to get this first star coin, you have to ride the donut blocks down. And then this becomes an enormous challenge to escape from this. But if you know what you're doing, it's not that bad with some practice. Beating the level in general ain't too bad with some practice. It's just getting the star coins on the other hand that can be a challenge. So this still ain't the hardest Mario level ever. So I only put it at number 9 on the list because of that. And you have a star power you can use to get your second star coin of this level. And then you can use it to make it here easily. This is probably the toughest part of the level coming up right here. because you're almost forced to get hit right there, and you have to precisely jump on these donut blocks. And then you have to wait for the spike pendulum to move out of the way before you hit the switch, revealing these red blocks and using them as platforms to make it up in order to get your star coin. And there we go. That's all to say about this level. Now we're gonna move on. Alright, number 8 on my list has to be the Pachinko Machine from Super Mario Sunshine, which is one of the missions I've never beaten. The main reason I put this at number 8 is because it's one of the glitchiest levels in Super Mario Sunshine. And it can get out of control easily. And it's one of the most frustrating Mario levels ever to play. It is actually one of the glitchiest Mario levels ever, since it'll glitch out at times, and you have no control over it. And that is so irritating. Like, you have to precisely do these jumps. I mean, this is not the hardest Mario level ever, but it is annoying. Because your precision has to be beyond precise if you want to do it fast. And Flood in this level is more glitchy than he is in any other level. But the strategy is simple. All you have to do is just collect 8 red coins and then just eventually get the power shine. But the problem is it's glitchy, so you can't really have a consistent way to do it. And that's what sucks about it. If it wasn't so glitchy, this probably wouldn't even be that hard of a level. See how glitchy it is? I told you. See, me trying to collect what I want to collect, it can be a chore to do. Because you have to have timing for literally everything. And the game just glitches out like crazy. Even when I've already collected 7 coins and you have 1 more to go. And you cannot recover yourself in a lot of areas. That's all I'm going to say about this level. Let's just move on. Alright, so number 7 on my list has to be Special World 8-Crown from Super Mario 3D Land. Excuse me, like most modern Mario titles, they save the hardest level for last. Reason? Because it just makes sense to. The thing about Special 8 Crown is that your jumps have to be precise. The Tanuki suit does make the level a lot easier than doing it without, I totally agree, but that does not mean it's easy. If you have the Tanuki suit, one thing you can do is you can skip jumping on the Goombas by just, while jumping right here, getting on top of this platform, and then just doing that. Then you can skip all the way here. What a nice shortcut. If you see Mario Shadow, you can ground pound on the little block in order to make it. And then when you go here, inside this pipe, you have to fight Boom Boom and Pom Pom. And Boom Boom and Pom Pom are not that difficult of bosses overall. The rest of the level is what's a challenge. Once you beat Boom Boom and Pom Pom, the next section is what you definitely want to have Tanuki suits for. This is possible to beat without the Tanuki suit, but very difficult. You'll get a few coins when you defeat Boom Boom and Pom Pom. That means you'll have a few coins you can collect. Once you go inside that pipe, you'll get to this section right here. If you have a stone Tanuki suit, you can become stone by ground pounding and then you can stone through this and become invincible. Excuse me. You can ride this platform here, and then you can just kick these bombs away with a Tanuki swipe. If you get hit once, you'll have one more Tanuki suit you can use if you saved it to this point. This is where it's really useful. You can use it to invincible yourself through the fire bars. And then you have a part with fire bars. This part's pretty simple. You just have to do this with your jumps. And then once you make it here, you just have to do this. And then you have to watch out for Cosmic Clone coming after you from behind. And then you have to hit this switch and then ride this panel, and then you get rewarded with the thank you letters for completing the level. And then you just go in this warp box, and the hard parts are over. And you have a flagpole you can get right here. That's all I have to say about it, so now we're going to move on. Alright, so number 6 on my list has to be 9-7 from New Super Mario Bros. Wii. World 9 is definitely the hardest world in the game. But 9-7's a whole nother level of difficulty. This level definitely tests your skills. Because it's an ice level, it's an ice jungle level, and it tests to see how good you are at the game when it comes to avoiding the enemies. And if you're not careful enough, this level is actually, it may not even look that hard when you just play the first part of it, but it gets tough overall. You can triple jump to that first part to get past that first part pretty easily. It's best if you don't stop moving, because if you stop moving, it becomes harder. And it can be frustrating. And the ice is so slippery. And sometimes you might just slide off. So you have to be very careful, very precise with everything you do. And again, it's beyond precise. Again, I told you, no matter how safe you try to play it, it's still hard. That's why I put it this high. Because, unlike most difficult levels, there's not an easy way to do it unless you're just a skilled player. And even a veteran like me, who has beaten these Mario games thousands of times, can die on this level easily, just at the very first part of the level. But when you make it later in the level, it definitely gets harder. I told you, no matter how careful you are, you can mess up easily, and there's no checkpoints. Because this level is tough. That's why I put it as high as it is on the list. Once you get past this part, you'll have a part coming up The easiest way to do this, the easiest and fastest way through that one part is a triple jump. Once you get right here, shoot the fireball backwards and you can get your second star coin. Sounds simple, right? Actually, this is actually one of the hardest levels of Mario existence. I know the level might look simple, but trust me, it's not. Excuse me. And I'm so good at the game, and I die on it a lot. That's all I'm going to say about this level. Let's move on now. Alright, so number 5 on my list has to be Mario Wing Over the Rainbow from Super Mario 64. You have to enter through this way in order to get to Mario Wing Over the Rainbow. And your objective here might seem simple, but it's actually really difficult. You have to grab the wing cap and then triple jump to fly, and then go over to the other clouds to collect red coins. And that's really all you gotta do. Simple strategy-wise, but very difficult if you don't know what you're doing. Like I said, this mission is incredibly difficult. You can talk to the cannon, you can talk to the Bob-omb for him to open a cannon for you, and that will make the rest of it easier. And you can refill your wing cap like this. You just have to keep doing what I'm doing. Even though I probably won't have time to finish this level in this video because I'm making a top 10s video. There's not a whole lot I can say about this level. There's not really that much to it, so now we're going to move on to the next. Now we're going to move on. Badge challenges in Super Mario Bros. Wonder will not be counted, because I have not unlocked the final badge challenge yet. So I'm going to say number 4 on my list is the Final Test Wonder Gauntlet from Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Why it's this high on the list? You'll see why. Mario Wonder ain't really that difficult of a game overall. It's actually a fairly easy game overall. Why it's as high as it is because when you activate the Wonder Flower, it starts out not being as hard. But when you get later in the level, that's when the real challenge begins. And you have to really watch out for the bubbles. You do not want to hit the lava that's up high. And then it slows down, goes faster, normal speed, alternate speed a bunch. And that's what makes this level hard. The wonder effects in this level merged together really make it challenging. And once you get to... If you know the wonder effects really well, this level's definitely doable. But it's still very difficult because there's very little room for error. And that's really all I'm going to say about it. Now let's move on. Mario Odyssey is definitely a fairly easy game overall, since I did not find this game to be very challenging. You might notice it has a level that's pretty high on this list for top 10 hardest levels, and that is the Dark Side of the Moon, which is an enormous challenge to beat. The reason why it's number 3 on my list is because you have to use the frogs to get through this moon gravity part in order to get up here. Actually, you have to be higher than that with the frogs. And it requires 500 power moons to unlock, which can be a chore to unlock it. But at the same time, once you make it to the top, here's where the challenge begins. When you get up here, you go inside this pipe right here, and here's where the fun begins. It may not seem that difficult to start, but once you make it up here, you have to be really precise with your movement like this. It's a really cool level because they do merge different environments together, and I really like that part. Excuse me. But if you die at any point, you go back to the very beginning. And you have to use those rails right there to go across. Then you have to go across like this. And it just keeps getting harder and harder as it goes on. You can get a heart right here, and that's nice. You get to possess a lava bubble, and you have to be kind of precise with your jumps right here. By precisely jumping in these holes. Just like that. Then you can launch out this lava bubble to go on to the next section. You get to possess an uproot here, and so that's nice, and that's fun. We get to use uproots to get over here. Excuse me. And you have to do that. You have to avoid the icy cold water and avoid getting hurt by the icy cold water. And you have to go past the fuzzies. Here we have to use the Yoshis. We have to use Yoshi in order to go back and forth like this in order to ride these things up. Eventually this level will have like a glide on section, and it will have like, here it has a flower road power. And here we can easily just go over here. To get a double HP, and that will make the rest of it easier. This part we can put the scarecrow on, we can put the hat on the scarecrow and then ride this block up in order to get to the next section. And here we just need to possess Glide On and then glide into the whirlwinds. You can skip the hardest part of the game by precisely shaking your controller as soon as you enter the whirlwind. If you're shaking the controller, it means you're shaking it pretty fast. Just like that. In order to keep the glide where you're at, otherwise you'll start gliding downwards. And then the Bowser section is the easiest section of the whole thing. where you get to play as Bowser and then just break open these and make it through here. And stuff like that. That's all I have to say about this level. Now we'll move on to the top 2. Alright, so number 2 on my list has to be Champions Road from Super Mario 3D World. The reason why this has to be number 2 on my list is a crown level, but definitely harder than the other 2 crown levels we talked about. It has lovely Super Mario Galaxy music, which is awesome. But every jump, it requires precision in every jump you do. Even with the Tanuki suit, it's hard. But still easier than playing it without. But when you try to speedrun this level, it's unbelievably difficult. But even in a casual playthrough, it's still kind of hard. This might very well be one of the hardest levels in video game history. There's only, this level right here is very, very difficult. You have to avoid the charging jugs. Here you have to go with these crushing beat blocks. These beat blocks that are very fast. And you have to just be precise with every jump you make. It's ridiculous. Just like that. That's easier said than done. Thankfully, we have an easy section at this part. This part's pretty simple, so... But, except for the fallen blocks. But if you have a Tanuki suit, this part's pretty simple. You just have to get rid of the Kameks, just like that. This part's also somewhat easy. You just have to time your jumps right. And then just be careful. Just like that. In this part, you have to watch out for the ants. Bounce off the ants if you did not have any power-ups. But if you have the Tanuki suit, you can use it to get rid of the ants, which is good. And then just wild jump up this part. Pretty simple. That's all you gotta do. This part, you have to bounce off these piranha plants. This part, you have to go through this swimming section, which can be very difficult. And then once you get to this final section is intense. It's where you run across these boost pads that make you go really fast, and you have to jump to watch out for lasers. And the reason why this level is number 2 on the list and not number 1, because at least you can use power-ups. Although they don't give you any power-ups in the level, but at least you can get some from previous levels and to make the level easier. That is the reason why this is number 2 on the list and not number 1. And then once you make it to the letter, you'll be rewarded with thank you letters. Just like you would in Darker Side from Odyssey and Crown Level from 3D Land. That's all I have to say about this level. Now we're going to move on. Now we're going to talk about the hardest level of Mario levels, and you won't be surprised, so here we go. Alright, number 1 on this list has to be the perfect run from Super Mario Galaxy 2. Excuse me, why it's number 1 on the list? Reasons. Just like Champions Road from 3D World, the Crown level from 3D Land, and Darker Side from Odyssey, you have a giant marathon of a level you need to go through. But the reason it's harder than those is because you can't take a hit, like at all. And that makes it, and that is why this level, even the second hardest level, comes nowhere near as hard as this one. And if you get hit once, you die. And there's no checkpoints. And if you die at any point, you go back to the very beginning, which sucks. This first section looks simple with the Yoshi grabs like this, because you can learn a pattern in order to dodge these enemies right here. And then once you make it to the second section, this is the easiest section of the level. You can do this section just easily, just by turning the blue platforms yellow to make them eventually turn green. Just like that. And that will make another launch star appear too. And then once you get the cloud flower here, you can use it to create platforms. And like I say, if you die at any point, you go back to the beginning. That's all I'm going to say. Alright guys, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, don't forget to drop a like. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to click that subscribe button and click on the bell right beside it to be notified every time my new videos come out. Be looking forward to the playthroughs I'm doing of both Galaxy games on the Galaxy 1 and 2 Switch bundle when it comes out. Or at least not too long after it comes out. And have a wonderful day. Peace, Republic of Speed Boy.